A very good evening to you tuned in to UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight. Let's start with a look at the top stories and we move on. President Yoweri Museveni congratulates sugarcane growers for hard work. Transport fares and commodity prices hike as Christmas draws near. Toxic move, the result of partisan rage, Mognel says. While Uganda beats Eritrea 3-0 to claim 15th Sekafa trophy. Good evening once again. My name is Michael Jordan Komwa. Mugalu Muhammad is also joining me to interpret for us in the sign language direction. President Yoweri Museveni, that is in our first story, has commended sugarcane growers from eastern Uganda's Busoga sub-region and other farmers in the country for waking up, which has led to the increase of production of sugar along with other various crops and products that are now in surplus in the internal market. The president was yesterday speaking to sugarcane farmers from Busoga sub-region at Bugembe Stadium in Jinja municipality to allay their fears of having no market for the excess sugar they have produced.
Residents of Busoga sub-region have reason to celebrate this Christmas with hopes of benefiting from Buikwe District Sugar Factory due to start production of refined sugar that will be used for making soft drinks, biscuits, confectionaries, and syrup. President Yoweri Museveni revealed this during a meeting with sugarcane farmers from Busoga sub-region at Bugembe Stadium in Jinja municipality.
Then my next worry was, but is it that the rich people are renting the land of the poor people, and the poor people are suffering? Now, what I'm beginning to find out, that because of the culture of sugarcane here in Busoga, which was brought by the Madvanis, some of the parents of these people were cutting sugarcane for Madvan. Then the children learned the culture of sugarcane. Actually, some of the parents were poor. I've now known that there were some rich people who had land but they were not using it. So these ones hired from the other one. So therefore, my worry is now calm, that I know that you are, but through renting, you are actually growing sugarcane on medium and large scale. Secondly, many of the renters were actually not poor people. They were people who had a lot of land. So therefore, I want to congratulate you, these children of the former sugarcane cutters. Now they are asking me to Madvanize them, so that you become processors, and I'm ready to do that.
First Lady and Minister for Education and Sport, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has assured the Global Partnership for Education that Government of Uganda will continue increasing its financing to the education sector. Mrs. Museveni said this at a meeting with the Chief Executive Officer of the Global Partnership for Education, Alice Albright, at State House in Tebe. They discussed Uganda's domestic financing for education as a requirement for the next GPE grant allocation. Uganda is a beneficiary of $100 million funding from the GPE and is preparing to apply for the second round of the grant, but the government has to increase allocation to the sector to 20% as one of the conditions. Mrs. Museveni explained that the sector's budget has steadily increased 2.5 times from 1,794 trillion in the financial year 2014-15 to 3,081 trillion in the financial year 2019-20. Museveni thanked GPE for its support that has enabled the building of infrastructures in schools, training of teachers, provision of teaching and reading resources in the classrooms. The Chief Executive Officer, Alice Albright, congratulated Uganda for making big terrific strides in the education sector and especially the remarkable approach to integrate refugee children into education. She explained that the GPE board is increasing focus on the question of domestic financing because they want to see consistent investment in the education sector. Parliament has directed investigation into the mismanagement of the Exodus Circle and also summoned the police bosses to explain misappropriation of 5 billion shillings. This followed the petition by a section of police officers seeking parliamentary intervention into the Circle operations.
The government illegally took money from savers, from the cooperatives.
Early this month, a section of police officers petitioned the parliament seeking an intervention into the alleged mismanagement of their Exodus Circle funds. The petition followed cancellation of the Circle annual general meeting. In a communication issued by Assistant Commissioner of Police, Emmanuel Muhere, however, Parliament learned that Uganda police officers who subscribe to the Exodus Circle will not be able to access their savings as the Circle has no money. The matter was raised by Bunyole West Member of Parliament, James Waluswaka.
Other police have been saving their money. Now Christmas has reached. The money is not there.
It's rumored that the savings in the Circle were withdrawn and spent on police activities.
The government go and take money from the Circle without following normal procedures. Is it true that the Uganda government illegally took money from a Circle of savers and used it for government work?
In 2019-2020 budget, however, a total of 5 billion in supplementary budget was allocated to Uganda Police to clear the debt, which unfortunately wasn't the case.
Of the Minister of Finance that we should allocate money to the police to repay money that they have used from the Circle. And we did that here in this house. What happened to the money we appropriated?
We have a responsibility to follow the payment as given by finance to police, and then that money has not been transmitted to the Circle. That is the situation on the ground.
As if that wasn't enough, the Circle records of up to 5 years cannot be traced. The Minister of Internal Affairs, Obiga Mario Kania, accused the Circle management for the misappropriation.
That the police circles have lost their record for the last 5 years. How much money is that? The new management of Circle is in place. They have in their own wisdom put up an investigative team.
State Minister for Cooperatives, Frederick Gume, also recommended an investigation into the matter.
Investigation is being done, and therefore we shall follow suit. Our members of the Circle will not necessarily be able to get the funds, or those where there are problems to get them in the coca in this. But it is absolutely important that this investigation is completed in order to...
For now, police officers will have to find other means of survival during the festive season until the issue is resolved. Susan Naonga, reporting for UBC TV.
In Gulu, the youth have formed groups to exploit available natural resources and improve their livelihoods. Our reporter Abiona Francisco found a youth group which has started a washing bay within Gulu town. But the district authorities there are unhappy with the initiative because they say it is to contaminate the environment.
Since the war ended, people sat down, we thought of ways of improving our life, since even getting white-collar jobs and not that easy. So we thought, using the opportunity of this river, we could get a living.
The lucrative border business has created employment for many youth in northern Uganda. Although there is vast virgin land in Gulu district, fewer youth are interested in agriculture. Youth in Badege division in Gulu district, about 5 kilometers outside Gulu town, have set up a washing bay on River Oitino. This is a lucrative business, which was not easy just 13 years ago.
Motorcycles, like you've seen them, though you've not found any vehicle around here, that even vehicles come here, they bring the vehicles, we wash. It helps support our families and our loved ones. So we earn a living here.
But there is a danger to environmental destruction because the youth use soap which they release in the water. That National Water and Sewage Corporation draws water for its processing plant that it supplies to Gulu Municipal Council.
This river is our pride, so we protect it. Normally we try cleaning around. We even see to it that it's not, they don't dump waste around.
According to Gulu Vice Chairman Aola Simon Peter, they are restraining youth from contaminating the stream.
The law is very clear. The only challenge, I would say, negligence of duty or lack of seriousness by the enforcers. We are sensitizing people on the advantage of wetland.
So far, there is a conflict as the two groups struggle for health, living, and survival. Arena Francisco, UBC News.
Ugandans will, effective January 1st, 2020, start applying for passports online strictly after government's deliberate move to upgrade and eliminate the analog system in the passport application processes. This development comes with an increase in the fees required for passport acquisition, with the ordinary passport now going for 250,000 shillings from the 150 before that people used to pay. While addressing the media on the new developments, the State Minister for Internal Affairs, Obiga Kania, said that the system is intended to reduce time wasting and seal the would-be chances for corruption tendencies.
Since inception, Ugandans have been enduring through the analog system of passport application, despite all the tediousness involved. Charles Kamanzi is a passport holder who has to date renewed twice.
We have been suffering too much with the old system. This is where the first step, one had to go to LC1, LC2, GISO.
Apart from the bureaucratic process, the analog system was known for facilitating corruption and bribery.
And some little money, because whatever step we would go, one had to pay something. No matter how little, but we had to pay something.
To remedy this, government, through the Line Ministry, has launched a new e-passport application portal expected to totally lock out manual applications effective 31st December this year.
Applications which are paid manual will not be accepted beyond the 31st of December 2019. Particularly when it comes to payments, we will not accept manual payments after the 31st of December. All applicants who paid manually should ensure that their applications are submitted to the Passport Control Office by the 31st of December. We're aware there are citizens who have paid for their passports out there. They still have the documentation. They have not submitted their applications to our offices. Please make sure you submit those applications not later than the 31st of December.
The online passport application portal is expected to, among others, reduce on processing time of the passport from 7 working days to 48 hours only, and also eliminate chances of foreigners obtaining Ugandan passports.
We'll endeavor to make sure that those processes are clean and they enable us to screen through. But of course, even if we don't eliminate, we will minimize.
Mundei Simon, the Deputy Passport Controller, takes us through the process, highlighting how inclusive it is.
This process takes under 3 minutes with the officer and you go. After you do this, 48 hours later the passport will be done. And a message will be sent to you that your passport is ready. We shall actually keep sending you messages, even at the point of approval.
Unfortunately, the upgrade comes with an increase in fees for each category of passports.
An ordinary passport, which is 48 pages, will cost 250,000 shillings. This what we now call the service passport, which is 64 pages. 64 pages, it will cost 400,000 shillings. A diplomatic passport, which is also 64 pages,
it will cost 500,000 shillings.
However, the public has expressed mixed feelings about the new system, with some blaming the ministry for not sensitizing them.
Ebintu byakyuse okiraba oyingira mu gate tomanyi wawodda tomanyi wawotandikira tewali muntu akukwatako nti oboze kukola kino jangu odde wano obodde wano.
But the framers of the system appeal to Ugandans to embrace the development as an assured way of accessing improved services. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Good morning, Uganda. Today is a great day to make someone's day. A wonderful day to rewrite the future. Today is a beautiful day to light up their world. A marvelous day to make a brand new start. The perfect day to make the world smaller. Uganda, today isn't just another day. Today is your day. Airtel Money, with you always. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Remember, no person is too big or too small to avoid the effects of alcohol. Just one drink can increase the risk of serious crash. Once it's in your blood system, the only remedy is time. Short-term remedies such as coffee, cold showers, or energy drinks don't help. If you need to travel after a drink, be responsible. Take a taxi or public transport, or just stay where you are. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Primary school jangu wekwata ekifo kyo amangu ddala wanatunira ebyamaguzi ebyo atonga n'omugattako gw'ekibuga Kampala ng'ennaku z'omwezi 19 Desemba okutuusa nga 23 Desemba guwagiddwa UBC TV, Pepsi Cola, Bella Wine n'abanguka mbyefuna ku Star TV emunyenye y'eggwanga.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching News Tonight. And the last story of our segment was talking about the plan to go into the e-passport application system, phasing out the analog system, just exactly as we had in the story. But we want to know more about the system and how it is going to work, and whether every loophole or gap around it has been looked at and covered prior to anyone getting the problem. So with me is Mr. Mundei Simon, the Deputy Passport Controller. So we're going to hear from almost the horse's mouth. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Glad to have me here.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
How is this system going to work?
The system is as easy as 1, 2, 3. What you do, you visit our link, www.passports.go.ug. Once you open that link,
that is on the internet.
On the internet,
either in an internet cafe,
on your phone,
or on my phone.
If you have some,
or anywhere with a computer.
Anywhere with a computer, anywhere, and in any location. So once you do that, you will find an easy to fill form on the internet. You fill in that form. You fill in all the details, the names of the parents, and all those details. After finishing to fill, the system will generate a payment registration number, what we call PRN. This payment registration number will enable you to pay for your passport, either using mobile money, using the bank. You can easily open mobile money and key in the PRN number and be able to pay for your passport. After that, now you will schedule an appointment with the passport office. Then when you come to passport office, we shall conduct a simple interview with you, asking you the basic questions about yourself, about your family, about your origin, about your parents, for purposes of trying to verify your citizenship. That is one. And two, we shall also take your photograph using our state-of-the-art cameras at our center. Three, we shall also take your fingerprints as part of the security for the passport. After passing the interview and taking the passport photos, the fingerprint, then you will leave the center and you receive a message about the successful enrollment process. Then your passport will be processed just after 48 hours maximum. It could even take 1 hour, 2 hours.
We shall come to that.
Whatever.
That is somebody,
yes,
one Margaret who wants to apply for a passport.
Exactly, yes.
How about a Mugaru Muhammad who needs to renew his passport?
The process is basically the same. Yeah, if you are to renew, the options are on the website. There's a type of passport you
just choose where you belong.
Yeah, either a renewal or lost case, a renew application. All those options.
Now
are
I saw a stage that now takes away the e-ness of the whole process. Why isn't the stage of taking my photograph, all those questions of the physical interview, the inclusion of my fingerprints, what makes it physical? I can do all that on a computer or anywhere. How come you didn't provide that? And is it still an e-process entirely, if it involves that?
Thank you. This is to enhance the security of your passport. This is to avoid a Nigerian carrying our passports. So the purpose of having you there to take your own physical photograph is to ensure that you are Ugandan, a true Ugandan. We have got to interface with our officers to ask you some basic questions about your family, about your parents, about your origins. Because if we don't do that, then a foreigner will come and simply fill and then take our passport.
It still kills the ease, the e-ness of the whole process. Because this is where, again, we are going to sit in your tents and be there, because thousands of us will now come for that interview. You know how fast, in inverted commas, you are in those tents.
First of all, we don't have a tent. We have pulled down tents. If you have visited the passport office, by the way, of recent.
So the people that come for interviews, this time where are we going to
We have a state-of-the-art passport enrollment center. State-of-the-art, where you now sit in offices.
Okay.
We
so
have
we're going to
offices
sit there for
with
hours.
the AC, and the process
you're actually prepared
to take you for 2 minutes.
Really?
Maximum of 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It doesn't take a long time. And with our AC and very nice officers, you will even enjoy the interaction with our officers.
Okay.
Yes.
You say it is going to enhance the security of my passport. The old system, which the story called analog, it involved the DSO, RDC, and all those people who verified my record. This time, according to what you say, it only needs me.
Yes.
Can't I say whatever I want about myself?
Thank you very much.
Only the good.
The system has taken care of all that. It is networked with NIRA. It is networked with the Uganda Revenue Authority. We are networked with NITA Uganda. So what happens is, if you go with your national ID, we do what we call a NIRA check. This NIRA check is basically to compare what you have filled on the form with what is best in NIRA. Once you enter a NIN into the system, it will pull out the data from NIRA and bring on the screen what you filled. So this will compare, this will make it even more difficult for somebody who does not qualify for our passport to get it. It will also do a URA check. Is what you pay to prove, to verify the payments, that what you paid is actually was received by Uganda Revenue Authority. So it is even more secure because we are networked. We are interfaced with NIRA and URA and also NITA Uganda.
In simple terms, whoever does not hold a national ID may not now get a passport.
It is actually a requirement by law that requirement number one to get a Uganda passport is national ID. Without a national ID, you may not be able to get a passport.
Because will not
get a passport. Actually, will not get a passport.
Now, I see some other challenge. You are excluding all Ugandans that cannot use the internet.
Ugandans actually, this has made the whole process look simple, because before that we had a very elaborate form where you had to read. There was a lot of reading, there was a lot of writing. But even then,
according to statistics, the number of people that cannot read today is going down.
How many people?
The number of people that can't use a computer and the internet generally is still very high. So you people are going to have a few of us who can access the internet and actually use it.
I think most Ugandans now possess smartphones. Most Ugandans. Most, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about the statistics, but I think most people, even deep in the village there, they are on WhatsApp, they are on Facebook, So I do not think that this process of applying for a passport, and even then, a Ugandan who is applying for a passport, who will be required to go to the airport and apply for a boarding pass and will fail to apply for a passport online, but be able to go to the airport and go through all those tedious processes of acquiring a boarding pass, an air ticket, which is, by the way, these days electronic.
Okay.
Yes.
What are we celebrating, as in we are getting relieved of, in what the system we are phasing out?
One, it facilitates the use of e-gates, where you do self-clearance. That is one. Number two, it is also helps you to acquire automated issuance of boarding passes at airports. You don't have to go and line up before the clearing agents to get boarding pass. This passport can enable you to get. And also, it is easier and quicker for you to use an electronic passport.
Okay, my last one, we have just a second.
Yes.
With an easy system that you people have come up with, why again is it expensive? A whole 250 and 150,000. Why? Because if I have to use my airtime to apply to you, why again am I paying all this amount of money as if you're going to involve anything, like it used to be the case?
Before coming up with the prices of passports, we had a very, very, very elaborate negotiated system where we had to look at the conditions of Ugandans and also look at the security of passports. And the fee we came up with is one of the cheapest in the region.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mr. Mundei Simon, he's the Deputy Passport Controller. According to him, you will need a national ID as a must to go get a passport, and you will have to use the internet. That is where we have gone now. We thank you so much for watching. That brings us to the end of this edition of News Tonight. We'll get back to you at 10 p.m. Let us leave you with the weather forecast. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Muhammad Mugalu. Bye-bye for now.
Hello, good evening. Welcome once again to the weather report. I'm Alitubera Juliet from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. There is a reduction in weather activities in different parts of the country, and it is evident from the rainfall report we are receiving, lower amounts compared to what we've been receiving. Namlonga reported 1.8 millimeters, Gulu 1.1, Kitgum 1 millimeter, then Lira and Ushenyi reported 0.1 millimeters. From the satellite image, it can show that the rain belt has shifted further to the south of our continent, and this is because we have high pressure centers which are strong and pushing it downwards, leading to this reduction we are experiencing in wet weather activities. For tomorrow morning, we are expecting light rains for areas around the lake and some parts in central. Elsewhere, we shall have sunny intervals. Later in the afternoon, we expect wet weather pickup. Those are light showers for some areas around the lake, the western, eastern, and some parts in West Nile. Elsewhere, we shall maintain sunny intervals. This will lead the maximum temperatures to rise up to 30 degrees centigrade for the northern sector. Around Kampala, 27, Jinja, Toro, 29 degrees centigrade, whereas Kabale Highlands, we are expecting a maximum of 23 degrees centigrade. And if you intend to go beyond Uganda, we are expecting Nairobi together with Doha to have sunny intervals at a maximum of 26 in Nairobi. Sunny conditions for Dubai at a maximum of 25 degrees centigrade. Light rains for London, whereas New York we are expecting very cold weather at a temperature of 0 degrees centigrade. That is really cold. Carry your warm clothing if you intend to go to that city. Have a blessed night. I'm Juliet Alitubela.